Okay, I figured I'd try something different and try to record a video for a change. I actually haven't done this before, so you have to bear with any of the inadequacies, I suppose. But I went ahead and pre-watched this replay, and I'd say the big three things you struggle with the most right now are that you don't give and take space both fast enough and like at appropriate distances. And I'll show you what this means more in depth as the replay goes on. You take a lot of unnecessary damage. Again, same as the previous point. I'll show all of these different points as the replay goes. And you also do not tend to set up before fights quickly enough, and it kind of messes up your positioning as the fight evolves. So I'll go kind of play by play here. On this point on defense, I think it's fine to set up here-ish. I don't like setting up a trap in here. It's really easy to see, and it's easily destroyed. And usually, not very many people come up this way as you actually go up in ranks. It's not really like great for pulling someone through compared to just having like a trap here-ish, because it covers more angles, right? Like you can hook someone over here, turn them into it, or you can hook someone from here and turn them into it here. Here you only get that one option, and it's just like super easy to destroy as they walk in. They can go peek the corner, because I'm sure they can hear you shooting on hog or whatever. And they're just gonna naturally see the trap here. It's gonna be a little more obscured, of course, because this isn't the replay, but still, it's gonna be pretty easy to see. That's okay there. But, I mean, the first hook's okay, but once you see that they have D.Va, you can't hold this choke close anymore, because she's gonna defense matrix literally everything you do. Don't expect, I mean, you ultimately you have to expect your opponents to make mistakes, and you have to punish them. But I think above like bronze and silver, you can expect your opponents not to just like consistently not DM your hooks at point blank range when they have literally nothing else to look at. So once you see a D.Va, I'd strongly consider backing up here, because it gives you the option of turning people around this corner here, so she can't just step forward and DM it or fly in and DM it. And two, it gives you a way better angle to watch these people here and watch the D.Va at the choke. And that's going to be very important very momentarily, because you actually... Oops, my mistake. You do not notice the Genji that comes in. My mistake. That commits right here. You barely see the Mercy fly through your screen. The Genji's already dashed behind you, and you have no clue. If you were kind of where you're standing now, one, the Genji won't do that in a higher rank because you have hook, and two, if he decides to do it, it's an easy punish. If instead of looking at the D.Va, you were turned around, a second earlier, I guess they're underneath you or something right now. Oh, he's literally right behind you. If you literally turn around right now and just shot him, he'd die. Like, you need to punish this, right? And you can immediately turn around and kill the Mercy that's pocketing him. So you kind of lose track of him. And you see you have a good opportunity on the Kiri, but because you're kind of close to D.Va, hooking the Kiri is not going to kill her, because you don't have trap, and the D.Va's already defense matrix. So I guess this is a third problem with standing up here. D.Va's going to beat you one-on-one. She can block all your damage, at point blank if she's getting pocketed, or I guess 2-on-2 if she's getting pocketed, and you're getting pocketed. Defense matrix is just a better cooldown than breather, and you basically don't do damage to her when she has armor up. So yeah, you really want to trade the D.Va as little as possible point blank if it's a fair fight. To beat D.Va, you kind of have to keep hooking her away from her team and around corners and trying to blow her up, or wait for her to commit with her boosters and then try to hook someone when she commits, and can't defense matrix or hook. But like point blank like this, she's just gonna win. See, she wasn't getting healed, but you're kind of in danger of dying, and she's really not. And another small thing, you also have a tendency of hooking when you have no ammo, so work on that too. And this is kind of a consequence of what I was saying. You really don't want to trade with people like Maga or D.Va point blank because they just win the resource war. You know, they're pretty much statistically better than you. They get like, you know, they either do more damage or they have better cooldowns in, I guess, more consistent cooldowns, I suppose. So you really don't want to be taking a duel with them unless you have some sort of advantage, you know. And this particular fight ends up not mattering because your team kills 2 people. But I'm sure you could see how if this wasn't the case, this D.Va could have just hard committed on you and killed you right here. It's a good stagger there. So you should also have a trap sitting right here. Pretty much if you have it all on cooldown and the fight's not happening, you want to throw one down. You see this is actually our original one here and it's not done anything. At least I'm pretty sure it is. Regardless, when the fight's actually not like committed yet, you want to always have like set one down as soon as possible. So by the time the enemy team actually starts committing, you have another one on cooldown that you can replace wherever you want. If your first one gets destroyed or, you know, you actually get a kill with it, so. Small detail there, I don't think it's necessary to hook the Genji. You stared at him, right? And he walked through the trap actually. So like 99 out of 100 times he's gonna hook, you know, just let him take your trap and let him run away. And then after that, maybe you can walk and try to aggress on him. And get a hook around, you know, where he's standing now. You know, generally speaking, I advise just throwing the hook and trying to get the cooldowns out anyways. But it's definitely a scenario here where I can pretty much always expect the Genji to deflect. You know, you're already staring at him. He walked on the trap. He has like no reason to keep pressuring at this point, so. So yeah, you actually could hear the D.Va talking around the corner. This is kind of not a situation you want to be in. Genji doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but you're not going to do much to this D.Va either. And the Genji can kind of just farm you, because D.Va can just defense matrix literally everything you do when you don't have the So yeah, he would have died if you had something loaded. Here, instead of going after the D.Va, I would actually turn around and look at her back line. See how they're just literally botting into you? You don't even need to hook them here, right? You can literally just kind of hold W into them, even walk in the way of this Mercy, right? And this blaster, or just, you know, blast the Kiri, do something, right? You can hook them obviously too, right? But the chances of you killing a double-pocketed D.Va are really low. I'm pretty sure she should be unkillable if she plays this correctly, you know? Because your DPS aren't playing up here with you quite yet, so if instead you just block her from getting healed, right, and force both the support's attentions on you, because you actually cannot get killed by them realistically, right, you're kind of sealing the fight more so than if you were to shoot the D.Va here, because she just committed fly or boosters, whatever. Yes, you save your Kiri, but there's a chance this D.Va could just, after you hook her, just ignore you again and just turn on your Kiri anyways instead of wasting missiles on you. Which is what she's doing. Yeah. And this is kind of, it hasn't come up quite yet because you've just kind of not been uncontested on this corner for the most part. But this is where you should be holding W. Their entire team's dead except this D.Va and Kiri. I mean, they're respawning now. But you should not be backing up here. You should be walking straight into this Kiri and like killing these people. You see, because you don't do that, the Kiri actually gets a trade-off on the on your venture, and your Kiri gets squished. And again, you're kind of missing out on opportunities here. You just killed the D.Va, you know the Kiri died, right? You're basically unkillable here. You should at the very least try to pressure that cast that you know is shooting you from main, right? You can see him shooting you now, and you saw him here. You actually see the Genji here too. You saw him there, right? Instead of rotating back up, you know, you have time to kill while you wait for their D.Va to come back. They can't, you know, solo you on point if you play like even decently, right? So you have a lot of time to play with and try to get these staggers. In fact, this Genji does you a favor, commits in on your Genji, wastes deflect. So if you're like running forward already, he'd be a free kill, right? Kind of iffy mechanics. You could have just walked further to the left, you know, you have nothing fear from that guy, right? And now here's the problem, right? You're kind of in a bad spot because you're indecisive, right? Instead of originally pressing on your advantage, right, when you after you kill their D.Va and trying to get a kill on the Genji or Cass, you just kind of lingered here, right? You started to walk up and walk back down. And now you're in a bad spot to start this fight. So instead of shooting them top, I would look to control main at this point. It's a really bad angle for you, especially with the Genji with deflect and the Mercy. Has no reason to peek you, right? It's a tough kill. You should be trying to control this cast main or something. So now he's taking a wide angle, right? Okay, needless to say, this is a bad ult. You actually don't know where the D.Va is. I highly suspect she flew above you. Yeah. Regardless, even if she was right behind you, D.Va has no reason not to have pretty much full Matrix here, and she can eat literally pretty much your entire ult and then just fly away. You pretty much can't just solo D.Va, because she has all that armor, she has boosters, and she has Matrix, and like if you know she does not have low Matrix, you just can't do this, and you should know she has high Matrix because the fight just started. She just got back. So. Instead of just waiting, you could have still kept watching point instead of watching the cast. Like, he was super far away. There's no way he's gonna walk all the way from like the back wall to where he is now in Deadeye by the time you're watching point. Alright? So you should be looking to try to kill that Genji on point in the meantime. But it's still okay. Again here, kind of going back to point one. You just kill the cast, and they don't have a tank, right? It's just baby D.Va. You shouldn't be hiding around a corner. You can literally just run into the D.Va here, holding down breather, and just blow her up, you know? Just keep shooting her. No reason to be afraid. Good hook. Fortunately, Genji didn't shoot with you. Small thing here, you know, don't just sit still and eat damage. And again, mentioned that earlier, make sure you have ammo. A little too afraid here. You know, you just kill their Mercy and you have your full team with you, so going for an aggressive hook is a good play. Because you're still in a bad spot, right? Like, they're just flying above you. I will mention here, this is kind of what I mean by point two. You use your hook, right? Okay, so now you can't trade with the cast favorably, right? You kind of lose your range, and this is kind of a problem with the Roadhog rework, in my opinion, right? You can't really do much to contest people mid-range without hook anymore, especially like squishies, because you do so little damage. If they're getting healed at all, you'll just never kill them. Really, once you use hook and they're not like within like 5 to maybe 10 meters and they're out in the open, you know, it depends on what DPS or support it is. You really want to be peeking them as little as possible because you don't want them to just farm your ult off you. You know, they'll do more damage to you than you do to them, and they're forcing out your breather, and you're really not getting much in return. Like, look how much damage you just took there. You did like 50 to him, maybe. And that's not because you have particularly bad aim or anything. That's because your gun just isn't good anymore. It doesn't have particularly good mid-range capabilities. Here, again, you should push that diva. You saw she didn't have mech anymore. No reason to be afraid, right? No tank generally means they're gonna have a hard time stopping you from just running forward. Okay, I think it's fair that you greeted for that hook because diva isn't back. Once you miss that, you should be looking to go back top though. You know, kind of made the same mistake of just sitting a load around here. Because sitting down here doesn't give you any more angles than sitting up top does, right? Again, no reason to be afraid. You just demech the diva. She does like, I don't know, DPS or something. She'll never kill you. Just literally hold W into her and kill her as soon as possible. She's probably gonna get mech here. Yeah. You still demech her. Should win you the fight, but obviously needless to say that not a particularly good whole hog. Just she was demeched, but it's okay. Small detail, no reason to shoot a diva that's just holding down defense matrix in your face, right? Unfortunate. Just try to kill the baby here. I know the higher priority thing is to kill the Genji because he's ulting, but without hook, and since he's getting pocketed, he's not going to die without hook. You basically need to hook trap him or hope your teammates actually help you shoot him. And, you know, that's unreliable. You really want to be killing this diva so she can't remech, right? That's unfortunate. You probably should have died there. I think maybe if your aim was a little different, he may have died, but you still hit the hooks. I will say here, you should probably not be looking to hook the Genji. One, he has deflect, and two, again, the diva can defense matrix it, right? That's something you need to keep in consideration. You have to go for characters you're the most likely to control or kill, right? If you hook any of the squishies, and you know diva hasn't flown or anything yet, you should be looking to demech the diva, or hope she's not paying attention. But since you're in the middle of the point, like, she's gonna be able to see you no matter what. You can wait for a scenario like this. Here, I would have ran into this room where your venture is. You can give up point presence if you need to. You know, they haven't touched point at all. There's no reason to stop them from getting any ticks, especially if you're going to just immediately lose the fight like you do here. Like, you just can't win without supports, right? That's okay. You got a pretty good hold, so.
Let's go again.
Objective lost. Hey! Stop the payload.
Okay, he's gonna completely ignore this Genji. You're gonna kill. Okay, so that's not a good play. That Genji could have deflected to save the cast, and he could have just rolled or right-clicked, naded you, and you would have just exploded. And I think you just gave their Genji like 30-ish old, maybe 20, 25, 30 old. Let's see. I think just 20 old. Okay, yeah, that shouldn't have worked. Another bad ult here, again. Like, diva is not going to die when she just comes from respawn, right? Okay, so you get the Genji pick, but you should know the cast is coming back soon, right? And you just wasted all your breather, and you're only at half health still after that bomb. You can't be going in here, you know, especially because you don't have hook. You're just gonna explode. There's no way you kill a carrier Mercy here. They can just pocket each other unless you like literally have like 100% AC and just hold W straight into them, they're not gonna die, right? It's way too risky. Alternatively, you could have just went behind this car after when the bomb was going off, right? I'll show you exactly what I mean. You could have, as bomb was going off, you could have walked off here, right? Because you're not gonna die too. Now you're LOS from the bomb, and you can go down here and get the pack, and just walk right back out and be with your team again, right? And you would have been able to walk back on this corner and stop Hart. That would have been a much better play, right? You take no damage, and you introduce none of those other like factors. Okay, maybe you still would have gotten hit by the bomb, but you had the pack, so it's not that bad. So yeah, that death was pretty much entirely preventable. I think, you know, the first point was, the first time you died was, you know, okay, you got a really good time, and if you played that slightly better, yeah, you probably could have held that, but that one was like completely preventable. No real excuse for dying there, you know. Your hand wasn't forced. All your teammates were still alive, and you know you had to pick. Okay, so here, you really shouldn't be committing. 2 of your teammates just died. And you don't know where the rest of them are, right? So, yeah, you have no clue where the rest of the enemy team is too, right? So, you know, 2 are on cart by the thing, and I guess you could hear the diva going underneath you now. I usually don't wear a headset, so I can't really hear much, except when it's very close. But I think if you wear a headset yourself, you can know that, but you still don't know where 2 people in the team are. And they could just walk out right now behind you and blow you up, and this diva could turn around and blow you up too. You have no help. And I guess you get the trade of the diva. Not really worth it because they have a res, and if their Kiri played or Mercy played that better at all, you would not have gotten that pick. Actually, even I think if the diva played that better at all, I don't know how much Matrix she had, but she shouldn't have died either way. And even if she does die, she's just gonna get rest. So, you know, that doesn't really accomplish anything. You should just wait for a full regroup and then recontest with 5, right? No rush. There's no point taking 3v5s. And I'll say, when I say there's no point in taking 3v5s, if you have good spacing, you can look for people to over-aggress and punish them that way. But you have to know where everyone is to be able to do that, right? And that you didn't know where the diva was until you dropped, right? And you didn't know where the Cass and the rest of the team was, so obviously very risky. You end up dying for it. You might not get a test here, though. I think your team already killed 2. But I'm sure you can imagine how you barely made it back in time. You know, if they continue the roll, you got 1 more pick, you just completely give them up second there. So here again, you shouldn't be setting up on cart. You know, they're like 2 supports just died or whatever. I think their tank did too. Okay, so I don't know if you're just intentionally ignoring this Genji. But if you're getting shot like this and you set up on a flank, which I think it's okay that you do, you know, Roadhog is pretty good at that, right? If you set up on an awkward flank, right, and you just catch someone off guard and get an intro pick, you just kind of stall them for another 20-30 seconds, right, or force out res in this case, and you can just run back to your team. But here, it's kind of like before, the Genji just took off half your health, and you're going to use your breather to get out. Oh no, this is, yeah, now you have no health and you waste all your breather and be unable to contest cart. Okay, needless to say, don't do this if you don't have breather. If you find yourself in the middle of a team as Roadhog, you've done something wrong. He's not a tank that can just run in the middle of 5 people and accomplish anything. You know, some tanks can kind of get away with it. Roadhog can't, pretty much ever. You need to be up like a ton of cooldowns to be able to do that. Yeah, that's okay. I admire the pre-hook. Yeah, you should just be backing. Okay, here. I know you're down 1, you can't do this. You have no breather. and you have no health. I mean, you have some health, but you're below half. And this is what I mean, again, taking a ton of unnecessary damage. I haven't been too good at pointing this out a ton, but you wide peek corners a lot, right? Look how far away from the corner you are here. There's no reason to peek this wide when you can just be sitting here and taking pretty much, probably like literally 30% of the damage you're taking here, right? Throw a trap down, swing out of this corner if you really want to go for this play, and you think they're bad, you know, you can. I don't think it's a good play because their Orisa is probably going to be, you know, running into your team, cutting off your support, and the rest of the team is going to be aware that you know, ran over to the right and you're probably still in this area here and maybe flanking, right? But you still can catch people off guard this way. If you want to do this, throw a trap down here and hook people barely beyond the corner, right? So you minimize damage you take, right? This is really important because the difference between here and here doesn't seem like much, but when you notice it, you have an entire second to walk back here from where you're standing now. So if you miss a hook, you're much less likely to die. If you hit a hook, you're still much less likely to die because you can break, you know, their LOS much more quickly. And now the Orisa, instead of being in LOS, still has to walk another second to shoot you, right? So like a lot of miniature details like that make all the difference. But you're just gonna die. That probably loses your game. Instead, what you should have done there is waited for some of your breather to get back, waited for your health to go up. And you could have just played stalk hard, you know, try to go for hooks. Or maybe even whole hog them off if your rest of the team is dying. So I hope that helps.